All right, what's up everybody? So in today's video, we're going to be taking another look at the Art Pro MPA2. I've had this unit going on about 2 months now, actually. Can you believe that? Time has just been flying by, it feels like. I've had this unit now for, I would say, enough time for me to gather my thoughts on it and be able to recommend it to you guys confidently, knowing that whatever you end up recording through this unit will sound amazing. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump straight into the video. Now, when I first got this preamp, I was so impressed and blown away with the results that I was able to get with this unit, so much so to the point where I ended up, believe it or not, getting rid of my Avalon 737. I'm not trying to say that the Art Pro MPA2 is better than the Avalon 737. By no means is that the claim that I'm trying to make. What I am saying is that the results that I was getting with the MPA2 and the results that I was getting with the Avalon 737, it was not justifiable personally to me to keep the Avalon 737. In my opinion, the Art Pro MPA2 suffices, and for the price point, get this, $300 and I believe $50, or if you go out and buy them used, you can catch these things going all the time for under $200 to $250. Keep in mind, when I bought my Avalon 737, I spent nearly $2,000. It's unbelievable when I think about that. Audio is subjective at the end of the day, so you might actually even believe that the Art Pro MPA2 sounds better than the Avalon 737. I guess all I'm trying to say is that I wasn't able to justify holding on to the Avalon 737 at that point, knowing that I had spent $2,000 on that preamp. Again, I'm not trying to take a shot at anybody who has the Avalon 737. That thing sounds amazing, rightfully so. All I'm trying to say, I guess, is that the Art Pro MPA2 sounds good enough to the point where if you have one, chances are you're probably not going to itch as much to go out and get a Avalon 737. At least for me, that's how it's been. Okay, so that's kind of the background on the preamp situation. I was using the Avalon 737, got rid of it. I had a HA73, which is a Neve 1073 clone, and the MPA2 sounded just way better than the 73 in my opinion on my voice. The MPA2 just fit me much better than the 1073 clone. However, that is something that is kind of subjective. Again, one is a FET style preamp and the other is tube based. The MPA2 would be a tube based preamp, and I just like the sound of tubes when I'm using a preamp. That's kind of just what I gravitate to mostly. Makes sense, right? I had an Avalon 737. Now, one thing that I want to say, and something that I think really just summarizes this preamp as a whole, is versatility. This thing sounds amazing with literally anything that you run through it. Now, I for one just record vocals. I can't really speak on tracking instruments. However, I know that there are plenty of demos out there of people recording instruments. So if you're wanting to see how this unit performs when it comes to tracking instruments, I would say definitely do your research on that aspect. However, I can speak on recording vocals because that is all I use this preamp for. The tube warmth meter on this thing is something that is just invaluable. I absolutely love this thing. It's probably my favorite aspect to this unit besides the variable impedance, and it's actually kind of funny. I was using the impedance knob completely wrong. I was keeping it way too low, especially with a darker microphone like the SM7B. So I ended up switching the impedance up and going to 3K, which is just giving it a more brighter, airy tone that is just fitting for this microphone. Now, if I was on the TLM 103, I would keep it substantially lower since that is a brighter microphone. Again, the variable impedance and the tube warmth is such an invaluable aspect on this preamp. I know that there's a lot of preamps out there that don't really give you that option that the MPA2 can. And again, for the price point, $350 or lower if you buy it used, these are something that you guys will 100% want to take advantage of when using this piece of gear. Now, since I'm on the SM7B, it only makes sense to talk about the combination of the MPA2 with this microphone, and in my opinion, it doesn't get any better than this. The fact that you have a variable impedance and you have this tube warmth meter on here so you can gauge how much of that tube drive you're actually using. This, in my opinion, is the best combination that you can use if you wanted to use the SM7B. I know one of the issues with the SM7B is its lack of sensitivity. It is a very quiet microphone, and this preamp has no issues with driving this microphone. You can get plenty enough gain out of this preamp, and it has the same exact EIN as a FET head in Cloudlifter. So at that point, getting a Cloudlifter with this preamp makes zero sense. You're not going to actually get any benefit using a FET head or a Cloudlifter with this setup. That's one big reason why I wouldn't get rid of the MPA2. This setup is just a match made in heaven. It sounds a lot better in my opinion than just having a Cloudlifter. Having a Cloudlifter would probably give you the cleanest results since you're not running it through any tubes, but I actually really like the way that tube preamps sound on vocals in particular. Now at this point, you're probably thinking that it can't get any better than that, and rightfully so. This unit is already packed with a bunch of really good features. However, that is where plate voltage comes into effect. Art actually recommends that when you're recording your vocals that you should turn on the plate voltage option. My understanding is that plate voltage just sounds cleaner, and when you have it turned off, the regular voltage setting just has a much more saturated tone. Now that again is something that you want to play around with and see which you like more. For this video, I'm actually recording with that turned off. However, when I am normally recording, I usually have that turned on, and I've been pretty pleased with the results that I have been getting from it. Now, I could go on forever about this preamp really and talk about all the benefits and why this thing is just so amazing, but I'm going to save you guys that lecture. I think you guys pretty much understand and get at this point why this preamp is so special. It's carried in a lot of professional studios across the country. A lot of engineers love this thing, and rightfully so. It's so beautiful sounding, and again, for $350 brand new, or even lower if you go out and buy it used, I personally don't think there's anything on the market that competes with this thing. I've yet to use anything that sounds as good as this does for as cheap as this unit is. I know a lot of you guys have seen my videos on this preamp, and I know some of you have even went out and bought one for yourself, and I've gotten your guys' messages talking about how much you guys love this preamp as well, and just how much the quality of your recordings have stepped up since you've got one. So I'm actually very happy for you guys who went out and got one, because I'm telling you right now, this does drastically improve your results. You guys know how much of a mark I am when it comes to analog gear, and the one piece of analog gear that I will always recommend is a good quality preamp. If you are wanting to get into something that is analog, you want to start experimenting with tubes, I would say right now in 2020, the best thing that you could buy is the Art Pro MPA2. Anyways, guys, what I want to know from you is, what do you guys think of this preamp? And for those of you who went out and bought one for yourself, what are some of the things that you like best about the MPA2? But that about wraps it up. Thank you all for watching. If you haven't already yet, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon beside it so that you can stay notified for whenever I drop any of my upcoming videos. With that being said, I will see you all in my next one. Take care, everybody. Peace out.